Hello everyone, welcome to Stormworks, welcome to this video. Here we're going to be building something super exciting. It is a small but detailed build. Now if you know me, you know that I love my small micro builds as much as I love the large ships and airplanes and stuff like that. The reason why is because small builds really do supplement them, and one of my favorite things about Stormworks is the ability to load vehicles onto trailers, onto boats, helicopters, whatever. So here you have two of my small rat builds, the rat cart and the rat ATV. Now the ATV is currently out, the cart will soon be hitting Steam. Both of these are the diesel versions, and both of these also come in electric versions. Now over here in Alta colors, we have the rat side-by-side. Now this is my second attempt at a side-by-side. The first one was horrendous. This one is considered new. It does have the display, it does have some of the new features, and it is diesel powered as well. Now if you look at this fleet, you will see that something is missing. Just the other day, one of these was on a trailer in front of me as I was driving, and I looked at it and I thought, well, wouldn't that be cool to build? It would be perfect with the fleet that I have. It would fit into the helicopters, it would fit on the trailers, it would be super versatile, and not just that, it would actually give you a brand new platform of just search and rescue and driving around a land-based vehicle that isn't a huge truck or even a small quad or golf cart. So it's kind of that in-between area. And of course, this was the intended side-by-side, but then as I kind of got going in my building and technique, this actually ended up being quite large. Now, it is still super fun, it does work very well, its capabilities are unparalleled, and to be honest, this actually works as almost like a dune buggy of sorts. So this isn't going anywhere, it still works within my current creation setup, but there is a drawback of this design. You'll actually note that I built it uneven, meaning there is no middle block. See how these two anchors are here? So this actually can't tow a trailer, but the reason is nice. You could sit in the driver's seat and you could have your passenger seat and they're pressed right up against another. But of course you can't tow, whereas these are utility vehicles, specifically the ATV, intended to also tow. So it will be smaller than this, one block narrower than this, and probably similar in length. Shorter in length, unless I make a 4-person one, in which case it will be pretty similar, I guess. Alright, so just a basic platform right now that's supposed to give me a feel for the size. Now I do want this to have suspension. People asked me why the ATV doesn't have suspension, and truth be told, you just can't do it. You see here, you have literally one pipe piece between the wheels. It cannot be any narrower than this, but this one, it will be a bit wider, and it will give us the ability to put 4-wheel drive, and it'll give us the ability to have suspension. So with the engine compartment, I want very small. I want to make this thing quite compact, and you could see the front is just that. The engine is sitting literally 2 blocks in front of it, and then here we have the transmission. So it is quite compact. So I grabbed one of my small modular engine microcontrollers, and I'm just starting to move parts over to the new build. You could see one by one, I'm gonna just move things, whether it be part of this microcontroller, like this one controlling the starter, or over here. So it will come down to just a bit of copy and paste, or kind of moving things around until this engine is working. But that will give us the best starting point, and it'll give us an easy way to just kind of keep going. For a nice size test, I know I just miscolored things, but you could see here it is shorter. The wheelbase is shorter than the other side-by-side, of course, narrower. I do have to have this kind of front piece overhanging there, but I'm going to increase the wheels eventually so it can be latched on and secured to things. But look at that motor. So I got the manifold with the exhaust, and really cool, I love doing this, especially for compact builds, is sharing the exhaust with the actual drive shaft, if you will, and then putting the exhaust out later on towards the back. It just lets me use kind of two collective paths, and that's something I didn't know when I built this. So here I actually just used a system where I had two separate lines, but it can be done way better. Of course, we know with the motor you have to have kind of a bleed valve or a gas relief valve, so I put that here, and otherwise a bunch of gas tanks. Now the downside of such a small vehicle is there is no way for me to put a microcontroller to sum all the gas up, so I'm just going to take one. Maybe the best one to take is the one next to it or the one furthest away rather than a middle one, but we'll see that later down the road. It just does let me have the ability to at least have some sort of gas gauge. And as we just kind of complete this, you could see we're left with a couple of things. I'm going to change the microcontroller 3 to not control the lights, so I don't need those things. Over here we have the last couple things, number to clamp. That one is very important. It's the actual clutch. And this one is the light beacon, which we don't need. So I'm just going to carry this over, and that kind of completes the parts that I just needed to put into the vehicle. So we'll hide this right here. Just gives it a nice spot. And voila, all the microcontrollers, at least for now, are here. Now it doesn't look pretty, but here we are driving it. Now it doesn't have more gears, it's just the one gear, and I'll see if I have to later on add a separate, well, not a transmission, but a CVT transmission with my clutch, but this is the right type of thing that I'm looking for. Now there is no radiator, so for long distances it may overheat. It's just the downside of not having a small radiator in the game. But I can kind of control the RPS, so I'll see if I can reduce it a little and prevent it from overheating too fast. Now the body is super important, so it actually ends up looking good. I found this trick usually makes it look a little even smaller when you kind of have that side skirt. And on the front, we'll see what technique I end up using, but something along the lines that will give a nice wide appearance while also streamlined is kind of my vision or my goal. So we'll do a little bit of playing. Of course, this part here is purely subjective, so it's not like there's a right or wrong. You just end up with things that you like or dislike, but I do like just fine-tuning and detailing creations into something that looks aesthetic. And I know that's not a part of traditional engineering, but I've always been a fan of just good looking, whether it's buildings, cars, or whatever. Okay, I kind of got it to have an aggressive stance, but it still looks a bit like a jelly bean. You can see here, this light, it looks really rugged with like the angry eye. This one just looks too bulbous on the hood, whereas this one kind of looks nice. I mean, this is a golf cart, so this one really doesn't matter, but yeah, not too happy with this. Got a couple other design elements here, just trying to kind of make it work and look a little sporty in the front here. Instead of having it like this, which would be traditional, what if I actually face it inverted like that with a thing, oops, an angry eye like that. And actually looking at this, could probably move this forward a bit and end up with something like that. That looks kind of neat. Using the same taillights as the other one for now, but I'll kind of trim them down. There's a bed now, and the front, like I said, still not sold, but this is still just kind of early design process. Just like the cart with its roof, I want to put a roof on this. I did put these kind of heftier barrel pieces instead of the pipes, but I'm not a fan actually of how the seat is sticking out past that. Not a big deal, especially because the seat is what it is, but I do think it would look a little better if we put a block here and then this, and that'll also give us the ability to put heaters or lights or whatever inside that flat part. And actually this should probably move back and maybe I can expand on this. This is a fun design idea, very aggressive looking with pretty much teeth, but I don't love how you see that on the top. Granted, yes, I could do what I did previously and have it kind of going up to the front like that. That doesn't look terrible, actually. It looks actually kind of good. Yeah, that's an interesting design. Okay, so I ditched the teeth in favor of this. You see in here I have the engine. And if I do something like this, I could end up with almost a fake grill, or like, you know, not grill, but grill, instead of closing it off. I messed something up, and now it cannot work. Oops. So whenever this happens, I'm really thankful for having a lot of backups, because I just may have accidentally deleted the wrong thing. I did a quick check to see if my fuel's connected, which it is. Exhaust is connected. The clutch is working, obviously. Setbacks always happen, whether in real life or whatever. There's the front I like over there, and there's the one that works. Now I'm just gonna migrate some of the things over to this one. Alright, there we go. First look at the driving version with the lights, with the details. Sweet. And it's small. It is very small, but very handy. It's a good size. Alright, it is colored. I've been bouncing back and forth with the grill idea. I did increase the wheel size. I did change the lights, so I really like those now. And I'll see what I do for the rest of the thing. I mean, I have a lot of creative freedom right now, and stuff that I can do and stuff that I kind of just see. Yeah, I definitely like this grill more, especially with the color. Like, that looks awesome. I'm happy with that. I went ahead and added extra dials that are not in the regular ATV. It includes a RPS, speed gauge, and I believe one more. RPS, speed, and engine temperature. Engine temperature is important to monitor. And over here we do have the fuel, so we still kind of track what's going on with the fuel. But I just needed the thing to be sand colored. I do love the rat kind of yellow-orange, but this color really looks awesome. And really makes the thing look rugged, like it's ready to go kind of on a hunting trip or camping trip or just around the farm. So really nice. Just looking at the thing, the front looks pretty refined, I would say. The sides look a little bland, so I'm going to see what I can do. The back looks good. Been bouncing around about the roof idea, so I am going to permanently put a bigger roof, because I kind of went back to the other revision, forgot about that. And something else neat is with the addition of putting that there, it actually opens up some space here, like I said, that I could play around with. And what I like to do, instead of using coloring blocks everywhere, or colored like paintable blocks, I sometimes just like to use this to kind of give us the angles rather than putting a bunch of colored blocks. So that kind of works. I may have to dig into this and put a block like this just to kind of continue that on nicely. And I think I want a darker color down here especially. But that looks nicer to me, and it kind of looks like that door that the Kubotas do have. And it finally has its name. Very simple name, the Rat Task. Of course, when you drive one of these, you can accomplish a bunch of tasks, and there you have it. And also to kind of break the side that just looked a little too flat and boring, I put another angled piece in there. So I just go crazy with the angled pieces to give us like a more complex shape. And I think just that extra little bit of effort took it to the next level, if I have to say so. It went from just looking like a nice vehicle to looking like a very thought out vehicle. So I'm happy with that, happy with the name. In here, put the charging port, some equipment. You can see the gauge works nicely. It does go around 60 kilometers an hour, so that's pretty good. You can see it does have a pretty high RPS, 18, so the temperature will kind of shoot up. But if you're flooring it the whole time, going a super long distance, you may get overheating. The second you kind of let off, you see that it slows down. So it does, we'll see how that ends up working. One thing I really wanted to add to this was at least a basic HGS trailer support. HGS, if you don't know, is my kind of trailer standard. It does mimic the other one that is the formal one, the official Stormworks SIBTAT, but you see here HGS, if you break, the trailer also breaks. So that is at least what this does. A very, very basic little microcontroller. It's just a 1x2, but it just has the brake and the brake value. That's the only one that is really important when it comes to trailers. So now you could even tow larger trailers with the task and tow like Unicon containers or whatever with it. What about it being placed on a trailer? This is one of those tests that I like to do just to see that everything works right. So we'll fire it up. We'll get in here. Oh, okay. And the trailer hitch connected, and now we're getting a bunch of crazy phantom physics. Okay, release, release, release. No, 4 should release. Oh, there we go, 5 released. Okay, 5 released. 4 is the heater. Okay, so that has to be fixed. What is happening is the length of this thing is perfectly in line with the where the location of the trailer hitch is. So what I have to do is probably, when this one is connected, disable this one. Now this one already gets disabled when you press number 5. So what I can do is grab an ore. I made my own ore, which is a 3x1. So now we could say this is no, this one is connected, or when you press the button, then it disables the trailer hitch. Now I do have to find a place to hide this. If I recall, behind the seat I have a battery, like kind of like where golf carts do, but over here I have a place for a microcontroller. So if I grab this little one, move it under the seat, I do have a nice 3x1 spot for it, and I just have to move the anchors. A little unfortunate, the anchors kind of looked cool in the bed, but they'll do also if I put them probably here and here and remove that and have it so it looks a little more like that. Now if we spawn this in, of course, drop our tilt deck. Also, always unrelease it after it's dropped, because then it allows it to click in place. Okay, so now we get in, that attaches, and boom, there we have it. So that actually allows us to tow the little side-by-side, the rat task, to places. So it can tow trailers, but it can also be towed itself, so, or trailered itself, put into all kinds of things. Like, this is probably the perfect size to put on ships, to be honest. I always thought that I wanted like a full-size truck or one of the GTC Hummers, the G1, but I think this little thing is the best size for ships. Now, of course, with this trailer, it's only connected on the front, so it does eventually fall off. Kind of is what it is without having the front and back connectors, but I'd call this a user error. I mean, if you're going to take a trailer around like that, that's your own fault. So just like the video started off, we are missing something. I would say this completes this fleet pretty well. So we have it from golf cart to ATV to RTV to like a dune buggy. And look at the sizes of these things, all with kind of different purpose, different tasks, and different abilities. So awesome to see. Now let's try to quickly expand this into a 4-seater or a 2-row version. It's not rocket science. We just got to grab the right parts of it and drag it out. Now to put seats, all we need is 2 extra blocks. So I really don't want to make this thing huge. My intention is to kind of save it from being massive and keep it a relatively respectable size, so easy to trailer, tow, put on boats, planes, whatever. So just by kind of doing this, and then reforming the roof, putting some little door things like this. Actually, I'm not a fan of this. Like, regardless, the seat is gonna look like that and that, but this may be a little difficult to get into. And then over here, yeah, the roof line works now. We'll see how this works. Actually, not a fan of this. I think I'll want to have this continue on the whole way, just like that. All right, so now we have 4 seats and otherwise the same functionality. This one I had to paint orange to kind of look like the ones that I looked at on their website. But there we go, we throw it in gear. And awesome. So this one you could actually take on rescue missions, or if you just want to drive around with your friends. Everybody fits. The back roof kind of covers everybody, but whatever. If they're in the back there, so be it. But you do get a nice short ride, like short wheelbase still, with extra seats. And keep in mind, with this design, if I ever make like a search and rescue version or something, very, very easily I can just take the bed and expand it like that into an actual, like, for multiple people. So it just has a lot of flexibility. Within the fleet, you can now see both of them look really good. They do fit in. Now the big one, like I said in the beginning of the video, actually funny enough, it ends up being exactly the same length as the buggy, dune buggy, with the difference that this one actually has a large usable bed, whereas this one just has a large gas tank. Obviously different. This one you can drive longer because it does have the radiator, but these ones just have such a small, cute little front. So stubby. I love it. Like, look at the golf cart with the one. This one, the engine's beneath, and then here we actually managed to put the whole motor right in that front. So between these two, I'm very happy. Like, I think I over-engineered it between the trailer hitch and like all the different features it has, but I do think this is probably my most useful one of the vehicles. So this is awesome, and what I really would like to hear is whether you, the viewers, prefer the 2-seater or 4-seater version. I'm very curious because they are kind of different, but they are still both similar, like off the same platform. My preference, probably the 2-door version. Now I saw a little typo here. I don't need to, like, my release is down here, so this is just my bed light, and I probably have that mistake on both of them, but see, that's why until the very end, always looking for errors. Everything is a test to make it work nice. I do want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video, but I do want to give a huge special thank you to all of my supporters for showing me the extra love, and for that I reward them with pre-released videos, with pre-released creations, all that good stuff. So as soon as this video ends, I will be releasing these to the supporters, and they will have kind of early access and some beta testing to see if there's anything else that needs to be done. But I do still want to thank each and every one of you for watching, for participating, for commenting, for being a part of the community. It really, really is inspiring to me when people comment that my videos, you know, helped them build this, or my creations gave them the motivation, you know, or played the game and kind of did some cool stuff, and they send me screenshots. So I love all of that. That is ultimately why I do all this. So leave a comment if you agree and kind of what you like about my videos and stuff. But point is, thank you all. So hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for future builds, other creations, other videos, tutorials, all kinds of stuff I have planned. I have a lot of plans, so don't go anywhere and stay tuned for all the fun stuff to come. Until next time, happy Stormworks, and everyone,